So as a member of the youth, as I consider myself, that's grown up in this country, I'd like to say that I don't believe in boxing. So I think a lot of the time we make this mistake of thinking that atheists are all of one kind, Muslims are all of one kind, Jewish are all of one kind, when you find that people are just people, all with a different way of life, all with different beliefs, and there's no such thing as a wrong answer if you say it in a human way. So if I ask a question and I pose it to my Muslim parent, yes, they might give me the Islamic point of view of things, but they might just not know, and that might be different to an answer that I get from the next Islamic person I ask. And so I think more and more we need to understand that we need to be open-minded in the sense that things aren't black and white in the world. We'll come across things that we're not sure of, we'll come across things that don't make sense, but understanding that other people are trying to understand does help. Rather than putting ourselves in boxes and saying, well, I'm superior to you because I have more money, I have more experience, I'm your mother, I'm your father, I'm your sheikh. A lot of sheikhs might not know a certain part of what I might be coming from or where I might be talking from.
Okay.
I'll ask my question now. My question is, so I've done a lot of kind of research in generally just trying to find what I believe in myself. And I had a question posed to me by my physics teacher about 8 years ago. And he said, I've got no problem with Islam at all, but I'd like to ask you a question. Do you understand Arabic? I said, no. He said, right, your book is in Arabic. So how do you understand it? And as I've gone through time, I've realized that a lot of the Quran is there for you to ponder on. It's not black and white unless it's fiqh. Or something that you need to have a black and white answer on, and that's where the madhabs come in, that's where the hadith come in. And so in that sense, if you don't know Arabic, where shall you go? Because some of the answers only you can answer yourself based on your interpretation of the Quran once you learn Arabic. So who do you go to is what I ask, because some people don't have the right answers.
Thank you. We'll take one more question from the sisters here. The sister in the middle there, please. Quick one, please.
My question, because I've had a lot of these questions asked me, because I do a lot of community things and I'm probably one of the few people that people come to when there's a problem. When the problem happens and you're trying to leave Islam and you live in a society like this, where you have things like the Council of Ex-Muslims that are very supportive, and they will support somebody who's already left Islam. And as a Muslim, you come from this background where it's not tolerated for somebody to live Islam. We cut you out. If you cut out that child or that young person, they're going into the arms of somebody else. So what's the Islamic position on this?
Thank you. So I will get one question from the other gentleman with the glasses at the back there, and then we will truncate it and allow Brother Nurruddeen to address the questions.
Thank you very much for acknowledging me to ask this question. First, I want to thank Brother Nurruddeen. Sometimes I feel he's my neighbor because some of us are from Niger State. It's a household name that you think is living by your side. So thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. The question I want to ask is this. You asked that question, but you did not give the answer. If someone is telling you God did not exist, assuming I'm not a Muslim, so you can't use the Quran as an evidence because I don't believe in it. And the person is saying, no, God don't even exist. Everything just happened spontaneously. How do you answer that question to such kind of people? Another comment I want to make quickly, because we are satisfied adults and we may not be atheists, but our children are growing up. And I want to stress on what he said. Recently in Birmingham, Muslims are protesting about knowledge that is being passed to their children. And you did, because of your background as well, you did talk about LGBT and so on. My 10-year-old came home and he was talking to me about sex, LGBT, gay, and all that stuff. And I had to sit him down and say, oh, come on, tell me about it. What do you think sex is all about? He was telling me about consent. He was telling me about LGBT. I said, okay, what else did they tell you? I gave him that opportunity to give me his knowledge, his understanding. Did your teacher tell you that LGBT is good? Or he said, no, they are just giving them the types of relationship. And I said, okay, that is good, that is information. But what I want to say to us parents, and I've seen a lot of Muslim community going against this kind of information, if we did not give these children the opportunity to discuss what they are hearing outside, they will not discuss this with us, but they will learn a lot and they will be carried away with some of this information and we may not be able to control it. So, Brother Nurruddeen, I really want you to say something on this, whether you agree with this aspect of this information, because when you tell a child, oh, gay people exist, but look, this is why you cannot be gay, this is the reason, whether this is a very important information, or when a child is coming and say, oh, they said about LGBT, he said, La ilaha illallah, don't ever say it again. Please, this is just my...
Okay, so I will truncate. As you are all aware, the time for Zuhur is fast approaching, so we will truncate and allow him to answer the question. I think we should limit the next 15 minutes. Is it enough? 15 minutes?
Let's talk about 1:30.
1:30. So,
Assalamu alaikum. So on the question, number of questions were related to each other. Firstly, starting with sources of information. Number one, there's a very important website run by the Yaqeen Institute. So if you just do Yaqeen, Y-A-Q-E-E-N Institute, they actually focus on this subject. This is like 90% of what they focus on is this. Yes, they move up during Ramadan to other issues, but this is their area. So I think you'll get a very good collection of audios, videos, and documents by people who are really good in that in this subject area. And where it's a topic on which there are differences of opinions among scholars, they will present those differences. A lot of the articles are quite academic, so it's really for you parents. But that's a very important source. Hamza Zotis, in responding to atheists and the logic, is good on many topics. He may not be very strong on the fiqh and some of these other topics. However, he's got some very good responses, a lot of experience in debating atheists. Jeffrey Lang. Jeffrey Lang is a convert. He was born, grew up as a Catholic, then became atheist, and then became Muslim. And he has a book called Losing My Religion, A Call for Help. So Losing My Religion. Very, very good book, in which he responds to a lot of the common questions that are raised. The other books are very good. Also, his first book, Struggling to Surrender, and the second one, Even Angels Ask. All books I would recommend. But for this particular topic, Losing My Religion. On issues to do with Usulul Fiqh, Qawaid, Maqasid, we actually prepared a book that tried to simplify the subject. The book is called Sharia Intelligence. an introduction to the basic principles and objectives of Islamic jurisprudence, I think available online. If you go to dawahinstitute.org, D-A-W-A-H institute.org, that's the website of the Dawah Institute of Nigeria. You can download, or if you email them, they can send you a soft copy of the book. I think it's available there, and other publications that respond to various extremist arguments. Otherwise, Hamza Yusuf, you can buy, Hamza Yusuf did a translation of a course conducted by Sheikh Abdullah bin Bayya, who is one of the highest authorities in the world on the subject of usul, qawaid and maqasid. So there are a number of them. There's Sacred Law in Secular Lands, which is very good. There's another one, Foundations of Our Faith, which is on usul. There's another one, Islamic Legal Philosophy, which is on qawaid. I think any of them, all of them, things you can listen to in the car. So these are all audios I would highly recommend. There are some books by Hashim Kamali. Those are more intermediate, a bit heavier reading, but Principles of Islamic Jurisprudence by Hashim Kamali is very good. If you already have some basic understanding. There's another one by Jasir Auda. Jasir Auda, he has a website, I think jasirauda.net or something like that. And he has a book called A Beginner's Guide to Maqasid al-Sharia. Very good, very simple introduction to the subject area. Something you can read within an hour or less, or a bit more. About learning Arabic, a lot of Arabic books have been translated into English. Arabic is important, but even if you get an Arab to read the Quran in Arabic and you tell him explain, unless he really knows Arabic, there's a limit to what he can say. What you'll actually find is if you go through, there's a website that has up to around 7 or so translations. Quran.com maybe. Quran Explorer. There are a number of these websites where if you want to know what a verse means, just read the different translations. It will give you a rough idea of the meaning of the verse. And if you can read a commentary, it helps you, so to speak, overcome whatever limitations of language you may have when understanding what does the Quran mean. Otherwise, most translations will give you a practical understanding. If it's like, so what action follows? That one you use, alcohol haram. You don't need the Arabic to understand the haramness of alcohol. You can get that one from a translation. So for somebody who is going to really want to go deeper into the Arabic beyond what an average person needs, then definitely this issue of comparing the commentaries becomes useful. The comment that because I'm a Muslim, I do what I do, or I believe what I believe. It's okay in some contexts, but it is not too okay, not even from an Islamic perspective, because that's really just blind following of something you were told. Truth is established based on its evidence, and that's why usul al-fiqh is important. Because usul al-fiqh studies the kind of evidence required for a particular issue, and what weight of evidence is required to make something fard, or wajib, or haram, or whichever category. So that's why studying usul, 10 hours, 20 hours, at least you know what the subject is about. In maths, when they say pi r square h is the formula for the volume of a cylinder. So when somebody tells you the volume of a cylinder is 3 cubic meters, why? Oh, because I'm a mathematician or because my teacher told me. That doesn't mean it's a lie, but that's not why it is so. It is so because there's an equation, and you can derive the equation to see whether that equation is actually correct or not. That's what the fiqh is the answer. Fiqh is the tree. studying the equations that produce them, studying the roots for which the fruits are fiqh. That study of the roots and the equations, the study of BODMAS in basic arithmetic, that's what usul al-fiqh is about. It's the study of the evidence for positions in Islamic jurisprudence or fiqh or Islamic law. And while a generation ago it's enough to simply say, oh, a hadith said, it's not even enough now. Which hadith? Why? Because we can now go online to check. And you've got all sorts of hadith libraries, and those you can even download to check. Is it even authentic? When people mention, we still have a lot of hadith that are unauthentic, that are circulating and actually creating problems. So, while for some of us, we trust the malam the way we trust the doctor. You know, when a doctor tells you, this is the medicine for your illness, you don't start arguing with him. You defer that critical thinking to the fact that since he's a qualified doctor, I'm not going to argue with him. So we do sometimes the same thing with religion. I trust the